Hello, this is Keith Lamont. I'm working on AI War 2. This is the second video, if you don't count all the ones that I didn't post because I messed up the audio. So, we finished the previous change before about the master menu opening button. Next thing on my list is to call a bunch of audio hooks that Chris has defined. He's got a couple bug tracker entries here. I've just copied in the information I really need for that right here. So basically we're going to be putting in a number of calls to this play sound by type method for each of these situations. So hacking starts. When the hacking starts, what do we do? So well, that's kind of primarily defined in external code, but let's look up hacking type and see where it's used. I don't think we need to put this in external code, given it's more of an engine thing. Although we might change our minds about that later. Alright, so yeah, this is the hacking implementation interface. This is what all hacking types need to define. So it can be hacked. Yeah, it's not doing a lot with these. That doesn't seem right though. I think it's setting it somewhere anyway. Okay, well, let's see. I need to find out where it's setting the hacking type actually active. So, yeah, the active hack on an entity. The only entity that can have it is the arc, but that's not necessarily going to always be the case. So here's where a hack starts. It's in-game command execution. That happens on all computers. It's okay. So, yeah, we wanted to call it hacking started, so let's get that method name. Yeah, this is a non-positional hacking started. Okay, that one's done. Hacking finished. We were just there, actually. That's here. If the duration thus far is greater than the total seconds to hack, report it by the hacking implementation. And so that's hacking ended. And pardon me with that click of the mouse there. And this would be a successful hack. We don't really have the concept of a failed hack. You can stop one, I guess. And I don't necessarily have to define this, but if entity active hack is not null, that means we're canceling it, basically. Then we could say hacking failed and hacking successful. Chris, I don't know if you actually want me calling both of these, but it seems like if you were only ever calling finished when you weren't having a failure or a success, then you just wouldn't call finished. Alright, so we've gotten those three. Science exhausted at a planet. That's going to probably require some additional state, because we wouldn't know essentially if we had exhausted to this frame or in a previous frame. But that's not necessarily true. I think we can detect this without additional state. We can add more state very easily, but let's not if we don't have to. Planet. Yeah, I'm trying to remember, am I tracking the amount of... Yeah, there it is. Science gathered by side. We are tracking that on the planet rather than on the side. So Yeah, here, so if we get to this code block here where we're actually doing the science addition, adding that resource to your stockpile, if we've gotten here, there's at least some science left to extract. So we can check here if producer, combat, planet. So, yeah, that's gonna make a scribble red all over my code because I'm not done yet. Producer in this case is the name of the entity, the science, the little rotating science husk thing, whatever it is. Combat is just refers to basically the 3D, no 2D in this case, space, with everything in it on the planet. And the planet just refers to the object that stores everything about the planet. So the combat object is really just what you're seeing in planet view, not what you're seeing in galaxy view for the most part. Planet is both galaxy view and planet view. So, and then the science gathered by inside index array, or lookup rather, it's more like a dictionary. So, and then the side index, because we don't key off the side object, we key off the sides. It's basically a primary key. So if this is now, actually let's just recompute science left altogether. And then if science left is now less than 0, let's call that method. And done. Okay, low on fuel somewhere. I'm not sure it is low on fuel. I think we're just going to, for now, define it as if you are trying to build something and you cannot build it because you don't have enough fuel. Yeah, so here's the error message that gets returned there. That's the end. They can build another method, which is called that on the world side, which is called by the one on the combat side. So yeah, so one of these is power. So here's a good one for power. So if we want to go ahead and get this reason out as a variable instead of just checked once. And so this is in the game command logic. So this is a decent place to do it. Although that means it's going to play on everybody's computer, even multiplayer. So, if entity doing the play, so if the rejection reason is power, not enough power, and entity doing the placing, side, world side equals local player. Local. Okay, yeah, so if the people who control the world side includes the local account, which is not exactly what we want to do. Actually, not the. See, this one's the base. Yeah, the primary key of the player. Then we will play this power. Now, that's not exactly correct because if we have multiple people controlling an account from different controlling a side from different computers, then it'll play on all of them. But that's a relatively edge case. We can and see how that goes. Alright. So that will be a similar pattern. Over here, this is where the build queue stuff happens. Yeah, this could be happening fairly frequently. But Chris did say it's going to filter out common problems. I guess the question is, how often? Well, let's write the code first and handle what we want it to do. So if there's not enough fuel and the queue, well, actually, this is already in the context of a world side. So then we want to play low on fuel. So the question is really, okay, what is this supposed to mean, low on fuel? Is it supposed to keep beeping at you if you have queues that are stalled because you don't have enough fuel? Is it supposed to only happen if it's the first time, if you've just now you've just now run out of fuel and you had enough fuel in the past? Well, what if you have enough fuel for some units and not for others? I don't know that we really have a good definition of this. I'm just guessing that the throttling on this will be set to not let that message, that sound, play more often than every minute or so. We'll see. If that sort of generic throttling isn't going to do the trick, then we need to have a better definition of what does it mean to be low on fuel. So those two are done. Okay, our ships are being damaged in enemy territory. And actually, let me review this thing here, because we don't really want this to send multiple instances of that, every. Okay, so plant middle flows. So Bull has sent low fuel sound this time. Okay, actually we don't need that. And we don't want that to break, actually. I'm not quite sure why I had it do that. So it'll only do that once per step. Per side, and since you only control one side, that means once per step. So that still should be a few times, yes, multiple times a second, but that's a lot different than possibly thousands of times per step. All right. All right, so our ships are being damaged in enemy territory. All right. Well, take damage is the logical place. And there's actually two different places in here. One is shields and the other is not shields. So, and yeah, we've got like 6 different things here. that are all about basically damage. So let's start here, and then we'll wind up probably extracting the code for use in both places by a method. All right. So if protector side world side controlling contains I don't know I want to do the contains all that often. It's a little difficult because that's a list of ints, and contains on a list of ints is not heap static, which is very annoying. So all right, let's do something a little weird. Okay, I don't see. I think ArcArray methods is a reasonable place for this. Not really, I guess, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So this is in the universal library. So the idea is that code from this would just get copied. You know, the not copied, but this DLL would be used by our next game or whatever. And all of them after that. Although it's likely that different games would have different versions of the same one. So we want to make an extension method on list. So public static bool contains value type t this list t. So yeah, list and t item where t equals struct. I think that's what I wanted to do. So then for an I equals list count I if item equals list, then return true. And I bet it's going to tell me that that will never be the case. I guess that's where we get into the problem. Well, I've never tried to do this with an extension method, but let's just specify a concrete type. No, it doesn't seem to like that. What about this? This really shouldn't. This shouldn't be allowed, I would think. Really? I like that. Okay. Sure, I'll take that. Let's see if it works. I'm a little surprised it let me specify something that would only be okay for one particular instance or a concrete version of a template. So let's see if it works. I don't know. Contains value type, and then player count local primary key ID. So, all right, this means it's one of ours, and yeah, I'm going to go ahead and Maybe we should apply it there too, but get back to it later. Okay, so yeah, we just don't want to have this thing doing contains. Because we don't want garbage collection, because garbage collection is the enemy. It'd be nice if our garbage collector wasn't the enemy, but that's a long story. And in the end, it's better to just avoid garbage where you can if it's reasonable. Alright, so we want, I'm just going to go ahead and copy this stuff in, so I don't have to keep alt-tabbing. So our ships are being damaged in enemy territory. Alright, so define enemy territory. So if protector, combat, planet, owner, controller, if controlling side, hostile to, this is, and I don't have to use, I shouldn't use that. Get hostile to local side. I can use those. This is fine. I normally try to avoid the local side stuff because it makes stuff behave differently on different machines in multiplayer, which tends to lead to a desync. But since the only thing we're doing here is stuff that impacts the interface, then it's fine. So if we're so if we're on a hostile place, I probably should have some way of like having a clipboard ring for this kind of thing. I've never gotten that sophisticated with my copy and pasting. Alright, so our ships are being damaged in enemy territory. Alright. Else if protector, combat, planet, get controlling side is friendly. So basically, so if it's hostile, use the hostile, and then otherwise, if it's not friendly, then we'll call that neutral. And then there's this thing about a border world. For now, I think I just want to call that friendly territory, rather than trying to do like a check on the different neighbors of the planet. I don't know that we want to be doing something that sophisticated right now. I mean, it wouldn't be too bad on the processor, but it seems overkill. It seems like you kind of want to know are your ships being damaged. So then, okay, now we're talking about the arc. So if protector is just the shield taking damage here. We'll make it more general case later. So if basically we just want to say this is a king unit. And you know, somebody could mod it so that a king unit isn't necessarily an arc, but that would be very different. One day I want to see somebody mod the game so that their arc is replaced by a Dyson sphere. I have no idea if that would work at all. So, this would be a shields case. So, yeah, basically what I can say is I'll be passing in a parameter to this method I'm going to extract. You know, bool is shields. Is shield hit. And so if it's a shield hit, okay. Yeah, this would be true. Here. Maybe I need to not have variables named trace. It messes up my IntelliSense autocomplete for true. Alright. And actually, we do want to check here for the shields down case. And now I don't want that to be shields down. I want arc shields taking damage. Ooh, that's an interesting typo. Alright, so then say if protector shield, get current shield points. If that's less than 0, that means our shields are now down. And they're just now down because this was a shield hit. Otherwise, we want to do hull damage. Alright, so that's all 6 of those cases, but it only handles it if it's a shield. So we're going to extract that to check for announcing, check for damage taken audio cue. And we'll just move that true into the line. Yeah, I don't need this to be a static thing. I can. And then I like to not have the whole thing in a bracket if I can help it. So I'll just invert that. Alright, now it's going to complain because I changed the signature. And I put trace again. Oh no. I really need to change that. Maybe I'll make that underscore trace. Okay, does that work now? Alright. And we can check this. And that's not a shield hit, that's a hull hit. Because if it was a shield hit, it would have happened in the earlier situation. And maybe that I'll have to reunify some of the logic between hull hits and shield hits in the future. Alright. So those are done. Major enemy force in our territory. That's again kind of a little weird. But we can do it. I mean, not so much weird as it's vague. Like I've asked clients many times over the years. Well, that depends on what you mean by that. So we tend to use these total strength computations in various places. Okay, so this is done in combat step. So how about we say, now that we've got the human total strength, we got the AI total strength. So we could say, if this planet get controlling side, controlled by player counts, contains value type, player. Yeah, I probably should wrap that somewhere. Oh well. And this planet AI total strength is greater than this planet human total strength times 5. Then we want to AI. Is this a positional one? Okay, no. Here we go. Alright. So that would work. I think it's safe to say that if the AI outnumbers you by a factor of 5, then, you know, let's let you know about that. But this is a good place to show, you know, why would I embed 5 in the code? I could put it in a constant file, in a code file, then that would be fine, to an extent. But we want this game to actually be moddable. Yeah, visual constants. It's not really visual, but it is interface, so, yeah, and I don't know which of these groups this should go in, so anything. Yeah, I'm not going to spend a lot of time looking for it. So, we'll just say public fint. I'm using fint because that's what I tend to parse. I can use float for this. That logic might get reused for something other than interface. So I'm going to use an fint because then it doesn't break multiplayer if something sim related happens inside there. So threshold for warning of so AI outnumbers AI overpowering humans by this factor causes audio alert. Okay, yeah, this is not no, this is not a reasonable variable name, but it'll do. Goodness, it's hard to find the end of this. So root fill. Yeah, that partial record thing just says, you know, if somebody's defining, it puts a partial record for their constants in a different file, and they only define this one attribute, it will read it, but it won't care about all the other stuff missing. So, AI overpowering humans by this factor causes audio alert. Alright. Some software I was using there. So we want to use, where's the constants? External visual constants. Let's put 5 there. Or to show that it can be something other than an integer, you see a 4.5, but I don't want it to be weird in the actual practice. Let's just say 5. And then that may actually need to be a lot lower, but I know that humans' defenses routinely in the original game would beat the tar out of AI forces that were 5 times the strength. You guys were ridiculous. I say that in the best possible way. So, Alright. External. Oh, no, I don't want that in visual constants. Okay. So that's in visual constants. This is only usable in the visualization DLL. No, that makes sense. And so yeah, this does need to be here. Yeah, once again, I think it's going to wind up going at the end. So I just don't really know where to put it. But I think I'll put it here since I wrote this file. And that's fine. So let's grab that. Yes, this is an example of me making a mistake. I bet you didn't think that ever happened, right? No. Happens all the time. Yeah, it's kind of not the same order here. Oh, I'll copy this. Okay, where else? Oh, I see that put one at the end. Okay. All right. Make sure both of those files are saved. Looks like it. So external constants, AI. Okay, there we go. So yeah, that took longer than some of the other ones because I needed to punch that constant through. If I'm trying to save time, I can just batch up those constants and add them later, but this makes sure it happens. So that will inform us of that. Enemy wave arrived. That shouldn't be too bad. Go down to wave logic. Send wave. Alright, so if entity to spawn at planet, does it matter whether it's on one of our planets or not? Because the AI might actually wind up sending waves at other targets that are controlled by minor factions. But for now, let's just do this. Wave. Right. Now let's go to CPA logic. Yeah, and pretty much just press the wrong button. Okay, come on, guys. That's not very serene. We want to make sure that something's actually being launched by this CPA. Launch something else. Launch something true. If launch something. Alright. Now there's one more. We lost a planet. That's actually going to take me back to take damage. Because that's defined as the moment that the controller hits 0 health. Okay, and so this is yeah, reverts to neutral on death. So if this matches controller, if this is a controller, and this side, one side controlled contains value type, player account, local, primary key. Then we want to play Planet Lost. Okay. And now we're actually not going to test all these. Looking at the logic, it makes sense to me that it would work. But we are going to fire up the game and make sure it doesn't just die horribly. Because if I made a slip on the XML or various other problems, it could die pretty quickly. Alright. We don't want the test chamber this time. We'll use Spiral. No, not Spiral. Oh no, I haven't brought in any of Badger's wonderful map types yet. Do that someday. Someday soon would be nice. Alright, so here we are. It's presumably queuing a bunch of audio files when things are being hit, but oh, okay, that's the I pressed the wrong button. 071. Alright. This is usually how I test. Just kind of send everybody through. Yeah, I don't actually want to do that just yet. I want to wait for the rest of my guys. So yeah, I mean, it should be sending all kinds of queues right now. Okay, yeah, I got 31 squads, so let's just cruise on through. That tractor turret might make life very interesting. But it'll probably just die. Yeah, it's trying to catch people now. It's fun watching it kind of get overrun as its capacity just runs out. But it did do an excellent job of really messing up that offensive. And something is doing a lot of damage to my Ark's shields. I'm not quite sure what that is. Since the AoE thing has been changed. So the AoE no longer guts shields if it's got a lot of things under it. Seeing lots of engine dead stuff. That text isn't... It's kind of showing up... Oh, I see it's under the... Gotcha. Alright. Let's see. Hacking started. And there's no hacks for me to do right now. Now that's code. That's simple enough. I mean, if it dies, we'll fix it. But I think it'll be fine. Alright. Let's go ahead and commit this code. Yeah, there's a lot of files touched here. Here's the major enemy force in our territory, but don't see anyone there. Checking for the auto queue. And there's the Planet Lost one, and there's the audio queue one with all 6 of those. And then there's 2 more on, for the hacking the hacking success, yeah. So, and then I renamed the trace variable, so everywhere it was used, it's changed. This is science exhausted. This is low fuel. This is low power. Well, this is hacking started or hacking canceled. This is low power. That's it. This is the CPA launch. This is the wave launch. This is the thing needed for the overpower. But that should be getting used somewhere. Where's it getting used? Combat encounter. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I don't know, I didn't remember that. And then there's the extension method in Universal, and then there's the actual new XML constant, which I need to make sure is saved. Yeah, looks fine. Added hooks for several. And it's like hacking starting, losing a planet, arcs, shields going down. I guess I could list them all. Probably that would be the better thing to do, but that's what I'm going to do for now. Alright, and we'll add this here. And I can actually go into the bug tracker and say, where's the button I want to push here? I'm not actually used to the new theme here. I'm logged in. Okay, change status to resolved. I guess it's the closest thing. Alright, so alright. And the other one is more general. I'm not going to close it yet. Up next would be the save and quit button, which Badger very helpfully provided. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, let's do this in the next video. I'm still getting used to these, and I don't want to record something and then I find out that the audio track is nuts and I can't use the video. So, thanks for watching, and thank you for supporting this project. I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye-bye.